For billions of years, nature has been running on what is essentially a perfected code. It's this incredible blueprint that lets everything, from a single cell to a massive ecosystem, grow, adapt, and just thrive. And now we think we've finally cracked that code for artificial intelligence.
So what's the secret? Well, it all comes down to this idea called the holon. And a holon is this fascinating paradox. It's something that is a complete, self-contained whole, but at the very same time, it's just a dependent part of something way bigger. I mean, think about it. A single cell in your body, right? It's a whole, functioning unit on its own, but it's also just one tiny part of you. That's nature's absolutely elegant solution for managing mind-boggling complexity.
But here's the thing. When we first built AI, we completely missed this. We built it on top of a crippling constraint, a fundamental flaw baked into its very foundation, something called description logic. And that one single flaw sent AI on a completely different path from the one nature took.
And this is it. This is the rule that broke AI before it even really got started. It forced a choice. An entity in the system could be an individual thing, or it could be a container for other things. But it could absolutely never be both. Now that might sound like a tiny technical detail, but it made it impossible to represent the nested, recursive way reality actually works. As a result, our so-called intelligent machines could only ever simulate understanding. They could never, ever truly comprehend.
And this leads us directly to what we have today, the AI guessing game. We're building these massive, opaque black boxes, and frankly, we can't trace how they get to an answer. These systems are designed to approximate and guess, and that's precisely why they hallucinate. They have no real-world context. And powering all this guesswork? It takes completely unsustainable amounts of data and energy. They look intelligent, sure, but underneath it all, they're just incredibly sophisticated guessing engines.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The very architects of modern AI were the first ones to sound the alarm. Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of deep learning, sees this flaw baked right into the math. He's warning all of us that the intelligence we're building is fundamentally different from our own. It's something alien.
And his counterpart, Yann LeCun, he completely agrees. He argues that just using language is a terrible substitute for reality. There's just not enough information there. So without a true world model to ground them, these AI systems are brittle, they're fragile. So between them, they basically diagnose the problem perfectly. The black boxes, the lack of grounding, the brittleness.
But they weren't just being pessimistic. They were telling us exactly what was missing. And that era, the era of guessing, of building on a flawed foundation, is now over. A fundamental breakthrough has been made.
It's called the Tokum.
The Tokum is the very first semantic building block in history that is designed from the ground up to be both a whole and a part, perfectly mirroring life's holonic blueprint. This is the key. This is what finally unlocks nature's design for AI, and it allows machines to reason in a way that was literally impossible before now. This kicks off a completely new paradigm. We are making a massive shift from probabilistic guessing to deterministic knowing. We're moving from these dense, opaque black boxes to sparse, transparent structures where you can actually audit the reasoning. We're going from an AI that just imitates intelligence to an AI that actually comprehends.
And this incredible efficiency is possible because the new architecture, called the semiotic web, doesn't just crush knowledge into billions of dense numbers. Instead, it uses these sparse structures that are, get this, 99.75% empty. It only stores what truly matters, the meaningful relationships between things.
The first result of this is just a seismic leap in performance. Because every piece of knowledge is directly addressable, it can be retrieved instantly. No more long, inefficient hunts for information. This makes reasoning up to 20,000 times faster.
And next, what about that energy crisis we mentioned? By getting rid of all the computational waste that comes from guessing, this system uses 4 times, 100 times less energy. This is a direct answer to the massive sustainability problem that's looming over the entire AI industry.
So this architecture, it directly solves the very problems Hinton and LeCun warned us about. Those black boxes, they're gone, replaced by explicit, self-auditing decision trails. Meaning emerges from nested structures, just like it does in nature. Every single insight can be traced right back to its source, and this allows AI, for the very first time, to be honest and trustworthy, to even say, I don't know.
So let me be clear, this isn't just an update, this isn't a better model. This is the beginning of an entirely new era in computing. We are entering the age of comprehension.
This is not an improvement, it's an architectural revolution.
We're talking about a change as fundamental as the invention of the web itself, or as transformative as the attention mechanism was for neural networks. We're building meaning itself into the very core of AI.
And you know, this changes so much more than just technology. It changes who holds the power. For the first time, this revolution makes it possible for intelligent systems to be truly comprehensible, verifiable, and actually owned by the people and the communities they serve, not just a handful of huge corporations.
The era of the guessing game is over. The black boxes are being pried open. Welcome to the age of comprehension.
If you want to see the blueprint for yourself, you can learn more at tokum.ai.